So I just stopped in to get an oil change. Then I get a text message from one of the homeboys asking me what do I think about this.
See murder swag tonight. Free seat. Free seat. See murder swag tonight. With a young Monica with me. Whew.
The Steak versus Corey Miller or the Steak versus C Murder. Yeah, it's real. It's been so long since y'all had a chance to really hear my verse, for me to speak about my case and my plight. Like, so many people have spoken about me and spoken about my case, and I appreciate that, man. But it's been decades since I was actually able to tell my story. And I wish there was a way that I could give y'all my story in its deepest fashion, with all the passion. But maybe there is a way. You know what? Maybe there's a way I could tell y'all my story. Stay tuned.
And even though this is documented facts in a record of trial, I'm still going to say alleged pedophile, alleged Kenneth Jordan. So at the time, 35-year-old Kenneth Jordan had a baby with a 16-year-old. The 16-year-old was eventually convicted of manslaughter for killing that baby, but she's 16 and you're 35. That's still wrong no matter how you slice it. Or if y'all try to normalize it and say, oh, that's just normal where we from. That's still pedophilia. But Mr. Jordan went to the detectives in the midst of the investigation for the murder. He actually brought up the C murder incident and said because he know what it's like to lose a child, he's been dealing with guilt all of this time. This is again documented. Look at the transcript. He then later changed it after he was paid.
How many people do you see beating him up?
You see about 4 or 5.
What did you see happening?
You know, they was crowding him, jumping on top of him. You know, he was already on the ground. Defensive, like, he couldn't defend himself. He was just laying there, or just standing there, and heard a gunshot.
Did you see the guy who shot him?
And he was dark-skinned, real dark. So I knew he wasn't seeing murder, like, that's what I had to do.
So you've been living with this lie for years.
For years. My family turned against me because I put them in harm's way. I just want my life back, and I want this man to get his life back.
So the family turned their back on you for being a snitch, but not being a pedophile? That don't even make logical sense. Make that make sense to me.
I had no part of this shit. It's like I'm fighting. Sometimes it's like I'm fighting the whole world, you know?
If there's anything that you can say to the victim's family, what would you say?
I'm very, very sorry as a child. I wouldn't want this to happen to nobody. But I would tell them that I did not fight your child and I did not shoot your child.
I pulled him.
How's he fighting? Is he kicking? Is he
He was
punching?
just punching. I pulled him by his shoulders, and I was like, yo, chill. So he was like, okay, big dog. Ready to fight. I say about 2-3 seconds later, wow. But I knew for sure he didn't have a gun.
Okay. Darnell, is there any part that you testified to that wasn't true?
No.
So you told the truth on the stand?
Yeah, that I didn't see a gun, and he was involved in the fight.
Okay. To this day, Corey denies having any part in that fight. Why do you think that is?
I guess because they pinned him with the murder. And he might know the murder.
Snitches don't live long.
If you did see Corey Miller shoot that man that night, would you tell the truth? And would you have testified that it was him?
I mean, I would have, because it's the truth.
I still wouldn't. Where I'm from, like, you can't do that. Regardless of what you see, you don't say nothing.
Does that make you feel like a coward?
Not really a coward, just a person that's minding his own business.
And how do we know you're telling the truth today about C murder?
I'm telling the truth.
And shout out to Darnell Jordan. That boy is smart. Did y'all catch it or you did not? He said everything he said on the stand was true. That's it. Everything else after that is a part of the show and a part of the Hollywood circus here. So shout out to Darnell. I owe you an apology, brother. Again, I got no beef, no animosity with you. You were one of the very first people who told me what happened. So salute, and I hope your career take off, brother.
Remember Shaky with the T, that was the days then. Mr. Nubby, hot tamales, he was everywhere. We was rocking used jeans before Rockawell. I been cruising down the street and I don't need a gun. Bust down an MC Thick, ran 91.
Anyway, 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1. Every fact is checked by 2 or 3 witnesses. So if 2 or 3 witnesses come forward, you can't beat that, partner. That's God's word. So your beef is not with me. Your beef is with God. Until you do right like you supposed to do, ain't nothing happening.
2002, not even 5 months later after his initial arrest, C and his crew went to Platinum nightclub in Harvey, Louisiana. On that particular night, there was a rap battle going on. 16-year-old Steve Thomas was one of the participants in the rap battle contest. As one of the bands was recalled, Steve was a cool guy. He wanted to be a rapper. It was packed. The music was loud, which is typical for a nightclub. C Murder and his friends were hanging out in a booth, talking, drinking, and just having a good time. Thomas finished his set, and as soon as he stepped off the stage, a group of men attacked him. A fight breaks out. Security guard gets there and starts to break the fight up. We don't really know how and why Miller and his crew got into that fight, but C was there. Security guy grabs Corey from the back and asks him to chill, stop fighting. He answers, "Alright, cool big dog, cool." Just after finishing his last words, he gets back to fighting. As soon as Corey returned, single shot was fired. Crowd and all of the people in the club start to run towards the exit, including C and his crew. Once everybody had cleared, Steve Thomas, 16-year-old kid who was trying to pursue his dream of becoming a rapper, was just lying there in a pool of blood. He died from a single gunshot wound to the heart. It was a tragedy that should have been avoided. One of the security guards, Darnell Jordan, was taken to the detectives bureau. According to him, they showed him 6 pictures, asking him, "Who do you know in these pictures?" Security guard recognized one of them. It was none other than Corey Miller, aka his murder trial began in September of 2003 in Louisiana. The security guy we just talked about, Darnell Jordan, testified for the prosecution. Under oath, he claimed that Miller shot Thomas. Back in 2018, he did state that he was pressured by detectives to testify. He was scared, detained, and locked in a hotel room by the police for refusing to testify against Miller. He recanted his testimony, but none of this mattered back in 2003. After 15 days of testimony, the jury came back with a guilty verdict. The sentencing for Miller's family was devastating. Being found guilty of murder charge in Louisiana means mandatory life sentence without parole. After the first trial, Corey Miller and his team started to work towards his shooting case. Corey Miller's retrial began in August 2009. At the retrial, once again, Darnell Jordan claimed under oath that C Murder killed Steve Thomas.
When prosecutors asked Jordan, "Who killed Thomas?" Jordan answered, "C Murder."
In a